Let's bring on the Mountaineer. Goes around the basket, 15 to 10 to 5. A touchdown, West Virginia. He did it.
He did it. That's with Dwight. Beaverson. He's gone. Touchdown. Tavon Austin.
As the hills of West Virginia resound with the sounds of Golden Blue football.
They want to have a 7-on-7 drill. We want to make it a fist fight. Nothing cheap, nothing dirty, but West Virginia football.
From the heart, streaming. It's Mountaineer pride. Leave no doubt tonight. No doubt. They shouldn't have played the old Golden Blue.
West Virginia is a special place. People are the state that have great pride in this WV logo.
Ain't no stopping the Golden Blue.
It is a great night to be a Mountaineer wherever you may be.
What's going on, Mountaineer Nation? Welcome into another live stream here on the Country Roads webcast channel. One that I've been meaning to do for a few days now, ever since, the spring game ended. You guys know we did the live stream immediately after, on the go. And when I came back, I wanted to do something here back once I got in front of the camera and stuff here in the office, but never really got a chance to the past few nights. I've had it scheduled. I've, made a thumbnail a few nights ago, but obviously want to talk about the spring game, some of the things that occurred there, a lot of the fun things, I talked about some of it, but, now having some time to digest, want to talk about that. Want to talk a little bit about the uniforms that were revealed at that spring game. And of course, works out great actually doing it today because WVU put out a tweet earlier. I'll share it with you here in a minute. They're going to be unveiling the new uniforms yet again, the ones that we've all been long rumored waiting for, the black uniforms, hopefully coming up, top of the hour, 7 p.m. I'm planning on sharing that. We'll live react to it here to the new uniform release of the Coal Rush jerseys, going to be debuting for Penn State. So got some uniform talk we'll talk about, and then a lot of recruiting talk. West Virginia having a big recruiting weekend for the spring game, landing high school recruits for the upcoming class, even landing a high school recruit, getting a jump start on the 2026 class, and then, of course, landing a transfer as well as some other players, hitting the portal as we expected. West Virginia had previously been over the scholarship limit, so we knew there would be some portal entries for the Mountaineers. The transfer portal officially closed yesterday, but you still got to allow a couple of days for, some of that paperwork to go through, so it may not be just out of the woods yet, but we do know of 3 players that have entered the portal since, the end of the spring game. We'll talk about those. Let's lead it off there with that news. First, let's talk about the transfer in for West Virginia, and that was a cornerback. We knew West Virginia was targeting a few. One that they were targeting, came in on a visit. He committed elsewhere. But West Virginia does score a commitment from, a nice addition, I think, in a transfer DB from Charlotte, Dantes Fagan coming in. This from WVSportsNow.com. Mike Asti with this article, as you see here, is his commitment that he announced there on social media. If you'd like to follow him, Mountaineer Nation, you can just at Dantes Fagan there on Twitter. But he's coming to join the defensive backfield. We know West Virginia has some players that were battling injury there in that, portion of the field. So we knew they needed to add some bodies. Also with, the loss that they suffered that we'll talk about momentarily, knew that they needed to add another body there most definitely then at that point. And of course, the coaching staff probably knew that before we did. But Fagan is 6 foot, 175 pounds, recorded 21 tackles and an interception last season for Charlotte. Prior to that, he was at a JUCO for 3 years. West Virginia jumped at the chance to offer Fagan when he entered the portal on April 25th. He then visited and then, of course, committed just a couple days ago. West Virginia needing that depth in the secondary. So let's talk a little bit about that now. And one reason they may have went out and got him, and pull up the CRW transfer portal tracker here that I like to use here when I'm talking these transfer portal updates on the channel. It helps me keep track of it anyway. Hopefully it helps you guys as well. But obviously we added Dantes Fagan here to the transfer in list. I think it'll be a good addition for West Virginia, a guy with a lot of experience, and that's a good body to add to that room. West Virginia has, guys battling injury, one of those being TJ Crandall. One of those being Jacoby Spells. Who knows how long he may be out? Sounds like that may be extensive. So West Virginia needed some assurance. Aiden Garnes looked really good in the spring game. We've heard good things about Garnett Hollis as well. I think those guys got a good chance to be the 2 starting corners. So, you really need some depth behind there if the other guys are battling injury that are, could be their backups in Crandall and Spells. And that's because Montre Miller announced, he was the first one kind of in this wave of trio here that you see at the bottom. I'll just go ahead and highlight all 3. You guys probably know about them by now, most likely. But Montre Miller announced that he was entering the portal post the spring game. And it was kind of funny to me, just a weird occurrence because, watching the spring game and, sometimes I think I overthink things or read too much into it. But he's the one that, Preston Fox went up and had that nice touchdown grab over, and just something about his body language I thought looked a little off. And I'm like, man, I hope Montre Miller, I hope he's not transferring or something like that. But, and the reason I say that is because you guys know last offseason when he came in, I was super high on him. It's a guy that's played over 800 snaps at the collegiate level, never committed a pass interference penalty. So I've been high on him since then. But also just the fact that, he had to get a waiver to be able to come back this year. So West Virginia gets that waiver, helps him get that waiver, I assume. And then he still ends up, transferring out. Kind of doesn't leave the best taste in your mouth, but I think that hopefully he lands on his feet because I do think he's a player that has good talent. So hopefully Montre Miller finds success where he lands, but he decided to transfer out. He was, really the only one of these 3 that probably would have seen extensive playing time this season. The other one next up was Braden Dudley, who's kind of been a guy that's just been down the depth chart. One of these reserve roles that decided to leave for, more playing time. Can't fault him for that. Wish him the best as well. And then most recently, Grayson Malashevich. That's one that you hate to see also, more for sentimental reasons. He was such a great program guy, been here for a while. He was the holder prior to his injury last season and then, lost that job and has kind of been battling that injury ever since. But he's been a great contributor here since coming in as a walk-on. He's one of those walk-on guys that went on to earn a scholarship. So you always got to respect that, especially in-state kids that come here and do that. That's always awesome to see that happen at WVU for them. So really, I think it's bittersweet, though, because I think Grayson Malashevich hopefully goes somewhere now where he can see extensive playing time in his final years, because that's something that he definitely deserves with all the hard work that he's put in. But that's what I had as far as transfer portal update for sure. Now, let's talk a little bit about these upcoming uniforms. Let me pull up the tees that West Virginia put out today on their social media. And because I'm sure you guys were a lot like me and, some of the other people I was with at the spring game. We knew WVU was going to be unveiling new uniforms. We were waiting, because they brought out, obviously, the new ones. We were super excited about the look. You guys can hear our review, in the post-game show about that. And we'll talk a little bit more about those momentarily. But I think when they came out, they said, we're going to be revealing, 2 or 3 more combinations throughout the game. And for whatever reason, we were holding out hope that they were going to unveil the black uniforms at that point. But for whatever reason, WVU decided not to do that. So I was thinking, well, maybe they're going to wait, do it in the summer for West Virginia Day or do it, closer to the game. But for whatever reason, they waited not even a week, and looks like we're going to be getting them now here in about T-minus 20 minutes, guys. So for sure, got this uniform reveal coming up, and going to try and share it here on the screen. But before we get there, let's share the teas that they put out today on their social media channels about the uniform reveal. And before I do that, I want to encourage you guys, as always, in these CRW live streams, drop your questions, comments, concerns in the chat there. Always appreciate you guys, helping guide these conversations throughout. I've got some topics I'm going to touch on, but anything you guys want to talk about, always welcome that as well. But having said that, let's play the tees here, because then I want to talk a little about the other uniforms before we get to the reveal of the new black uniforms, which here's the tees that got social media buzz, got me super excited that I was getting off work in time to come home and finally do this live stream I planned for a few days, and now get to, share a uniform reveal in this live stream. So let's share the tees real quick, and then we'll talk a little bit about uniforms. So there you have it. A little bit to wet your whistle, just a little bit of a tease of what's coming up. Super excited for this, man. It's something that we've all talked about for a long time. I think, whether you love it or hate it, it's definitely very, very polarizing. I think it seems to be more people love it, especially nowadays. I think that people have really come around to it, but people have talked about, a coal rush since I think it was the Will Greer year where they tried to get that going around for a while. They even had petitions going. So I think to finally see it come to fruition this year is going to be huge. Can't wait to see those uniforms here. Just about 19 minutes away. We're going to reveal them, or share the reveal that the university shares here live on the CRW. So hopefully you guys hop in here with me and check that out. But before we get to it, we can talk about some other uniforms that were already revealed. I'm sure you guys seen the uniforms revealed, but you may not have seen that West Virginia put out a nice video on social media detailing them kind of in depth, the design process they went through with these. And like I said, we got about 15 minutes, give or take, until the new uniform reveal. So I'm going to share this with you guys. It's social media team. The West Virginia always does a great job. So this is them detailing the previous uniforms, the full set that we'll be wearing this year, the ones they revealed at the spring game. This is kind of them detailing the design process involved there. And then hopefully it'll be about time to reveal those Coal Rush unis. We'll take a look at those. I'm sure have some discussions about that, and then get to some other topics and, of course, some things you guys want to talk about throughout here. Share your thoughts, questions, comments, concerns in the chat, but I'll share this with you guys. My bad, guys. Wanted to make sure that I had the audio playing. I probably already did, but I always like to double check because I hate to share it and not have the audio clicked on there. So one more time. Here we go.
We began by taking a look at our past. You got to take a look at the past to move forward. And in doing so, we kind of realized that, we don't have an iconic set. We're not the Alabama that has that same set every time that when you see it on the field. So an intention was to really create something that when you turn on the TV and you see that blue and gold, it's us.
Yeah, the uniform design process is the definition of a team effort. There's a lot of moving parts and pieces and a lot of individuals involved. So it starts by thanking everybody who was involved. Joe Swan, Michael Frigel, Kristen Coldsnow, who was the creative force behind all this. Steve Urias and myself were the main team from the athletic department side. And then we engaged Austin Blake and Dan Nealon from the equipment room. They were invaluable. And then obviously Coach Brown, Coleman Barnes, and Patrick Johnson from the WVU football side had a lot of impact. It really starts with communication with Nike. Myself and Austin and Dan worked with Nike and Bill Gahn on a constant basis. And then once we knew, okay, it's our time, we started the internal process to lead up to what they're going to see at the spring football game with their uniforms being unveiled. So really, you've got about a year or so from the time you start until the time you see the uniforms unveiled on the field.
I got to go back and really deep dive into the photography. We kind of looked through and picked out key moments in our history. And what did those uniforms look like? We wanted to bring the stripes back into the uniform because we had a lot of success with those historically. It's kind of a classic look, something we wanted to incorporate. Then we wanted to kind of give it a little edge with more of a present day success story, which is that of, Stedman Bailey and Tavon Austin and Pat White. The chip on the shoulder, that had the gold kind of inlays right there. So we used the Nike Vapor Fuse chassis again, and then the Flying WV on the shoulders. We have one of the most iconic logos in all of sports. And, I think it needs to be present and have some good real estate on the jersey.
Is bringing the logo back onto the sleeves, because I think that's something that when you see that, you're watching West Virginia. Bringing the stripe back on the pants. I think that's a very important piece of this, both for the history of the program and a nod to Coach Nealon and the history and tradition that this program has had, because I know that stripe existed in some shape, form, or fashion even before Coach Nealon. But I think what you're going to see is more of an ode to the stripes during the Coach Nealon era. And so I think those two elements are, I think, the most important and for me, the best parts of this new look. Seeing somebody like Kristen with taking ideas and conversations and putting them on paper and bringing them to life is also a really cool part of the job. We're very fortunate to have such a creative, talented individual that can take the things that we talk about and bring them to life. So that is a very, very cool part of the job.
They're going to wear them for the next 4 years or so, and it's got to be right. It's got to embody everything that we wanted it to embody.
So we take notes, we listen to feedback. So I think it's important for fans to know we hear what they're saying. We hear their feedback and try to take it into account. But the past meets present, I think, was a real intentional effort by us internally to do exactly what you mentioned, which is to incorporate the history of the West Virginia football uniform into the current uniform. So, but also give it a little bit of a modern flair with the new chassis from Nike and some other elements that I think are newer and mixing in the past, largely based on the feedback we've heard from fans and us as a staff internally have had regarding the current set.
Ooh. Well, I'm glad that they turned out the way that they looked on paper. That's always a concern. The gold outline on the blue numbers, very much needed. The fans wanted it. We wanted it. Here it is. Love it. The chip, I thought it was cool. I thought it was a kind of a futuristic look for the time. And just again, going back to the iconography here, we have one of the most recognizable logos in all of sports, and bringing that back is so cool. This kind of brings me back to my childhood a little bit. Yeah, so we haven't had the stripes on the pants for quite some time, and kind of going back to playing into the versatility of these and how the tops have to match the bottoms no matter what combination that we go with. That was an integral piece of it. No matter what combination you go with, it doesn't look out of place. It looks like it was designed to go together.
Because we've incorporated the gold and the blue in the jerseys more consistently, it does provide more versatility for the different uniform combinations.
Awesome stuff there. As always, from the WVU media team, figured you guys would enjoy that as much as I did. But, I think that it's pretty cool. One of the things that really stuck out to me there was, them talking about listening to what the fans want, that they hear what we want. And I think that definitely rings true, because even from us here on the CRW, you guys probably have heard me in the past when I was talking about the white jerseys. I always said, man, I just wish they had gold outline around the blue numbers like the Country Roads jerseys do. Boom, they did that. Steven, one of the co-hosts here, said he really wanted the WV back on the sleeves. It's one of the things he was always a proponent of. Boom, they did that as well with the gold outline. And it looks so sweet with that gold outline around that WV logo. But I definitely appreciate y'all being here, tuning in live with me. We're going to share the new reveal of the black uniforms when they reveal them here, T-minus about 11 minutes or so. I'm going to share the West Virginia's post once they finally put that up. We know it's coming at 7 p.m. Shared the tease earlier in case you're just now jumping in. If you are in here live or want to play back, hit that thumbs up button. Helps us out with the algorithm, pushes us out to more people. And if you're a WVU fan, be sure to subscribe here. Ton of West Virginia content, both football and basketball-wise. But Eric Flowers, see you in here. Hey, man, I'm here. Must have been popped in while the video was playing there. We're sharing the uniform, detail video kind of into the design process there from some of the creators. WVU Earl says, hey, Jordan, what's going on, Earl? Good to see you in here as well, man. Appreciate you guys hopping in here. And anyone else, tune in, chime in, questions, comments, concerns, whether it be on our full set that was revealed at the spring game or the Coal Rush unis that were about to be revealed here just about 10 minutes away. So we're going to get to that soon. But before we do, how about some recruiting news? Let's talk a little bit about that. West Virginia did land a couple of commits out of high school. We talked about the transfer commit, but we got a few minutes before the uniform reveal. So let's talk a little bit about the high school commits. West Virginia had, plenty on campus for the spring game. West Virginia landing a tight end during that spring game. And I think it's yet another great job here by Blaine Stewart. He's done a great job with these tight ends. Obviously, we saw Cole Taylor had one of the best seasons, a WVU tight end has had in quite some time. But then also we just landed, Jack Samarco, who came in and enrolled early, went through spring practice with the team. He's 6'6". Cole Taylor 6'7", and West Virginia really seems like they know what type of body they want at that tight end position as they bringing in Jackson Accordy here now, and he is also 6'7", 235, right along that same body type as the previous two I mentioned there. Samarco and Cole Taylor. Accordy commits to West Virginia out of the state of Wisconsin. Following the Gold Blue spring game, he visited there, commits to WVU despite offers from multiple programs. You see they're highly sought after: Central Michigan, Colorado, Duke, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa State, Louisville, Michigan State, Missouri, and Vandy. His statement here, he said he wanted to start off by thanking his parents and their countless sacrifices. Without them, he would not be in the position he is. He wants to thank his sister Alexis and his brother Colin, along with his entire family, for their support through the years. I'd like to thank his coach Mark, helped him get to the point he is today. And he want to thank all of his coaches over at Sports Advantage for helping me grow as an athlete. Wants to thank every single coach that took time to recruit him and believe in him. With that being said, he decided to shut down his recruitment, and for the next 3 to 4 years, he will be attending West Virginia University. I like how he put 3 to 4. Thinks, he could have pro prospects. And with that frame coming in already, 6'7", has a good chance, definitely has a good chance. And I think West Virginia seems like is going to continue to use the tight end position. So that's another 2025 recruit to add to the list. Here in a bit, I will pull up the recruiting tracker here on the CRW. We'll add him to our commitment list for the upcoming season. And also, I'm going to have to, I haven't done this yet, but I'm going to have to start a 2026 recruiting tracker as well to add, commits to there, because West Virginia is already receiving commits in that 2026 class. This one coming in the Gold Blue game as well. And hopefully you guys saw this. The video was out on social media, him talking to Pat McAfee at the spring game. We talked about how good of a thing it was, West Virginia honoring, Pat White and Pat McAfee as guest coaches for that spring game, but also it really helps having them around the program, as prominent as they are, especially Pat McAfee right now. You could argue he's West Virginia's most prominent alumni, especially, guys that love sports are going to know him. So, this recruit talking to him was probably super cool. And, getting to announce that he was committing to West Virginia, I don't, let it slip that Pat McAfee is definitely, a big recruiting tool and can be for the university. So I'm so glad to see us getting him back involved into the program again. But West Virginia getting a 2026 commit in Davion Taylor he's going to be playing in Aliquippa. I think he's transferring there. He has been at Bishop Canavin, if I'm not mistaken. 6'2", 210-pound guy, probably transitioning to kind of be one of the Spurs, formerly known as the Bandits. But getting a jump start in the 2026 class, that's big. 3-star prospect already committing. Who knows how high he could climb up in those rankings, playing at Aliquippa, one of the best schools there in Pennsylvania. Let's see if we can share this video of him talking to Pat McAfee. We got time here. We are in time. We have about 7 minutes of the uniform reveal. Let's see if I can pull this up here and share this video of him telling that commitment to Pat McAfee that I was telling you guys about. Let's see here. Here we are.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. We should not be playing this. And you need to, kneel the ball out, okay? Let's not try to embarrass anybody this year, okay? We understand you guys got an NFL factory over there. I assume you're next. What's your name, Davion?
Just committed today.
To here?
Yes,
what
sir.
position?
Linebacker.
Let's go, dude. Can't wait to see you here, man. Take a photo with you. Yeah,
That's pretty cool, right? That's what I'm talking about. Like, just that little interaction right there is big and could go a long way, landing a kid or not landing a kid. So having Pat McAfee around is awesome. Whenever he can make it back, hopefully he continues to do so. I know he said he wants to make it back more. Him and Pat White both. I know there's also been a good push to, retire Pat White's jersey again. Whether that ever comes to pass or not, we'll have to wait and see. Of course, they'll have to change up some requirements, but fingers crossed, because that's something else that definitely needs to happen as well. But Drumwolf 62, see you in here. He says, let's go Mountaineers. Love the new uniforms. As do I. And Drumwolf, we're about to get to see some more new uniforms, the alternate set for this year. We know the grays are gone. The black uniforms are coming in. Looks like it'll be a coal rush for the opener against Penn State. We're about 5 minutes away or so from the reveal from the university. I'm going to share here. We'll react to it with you guys. You guys can share your thoughts with me. I'll share my thoughts with you, and we'll chat about it a little bit. But I agree. Eric Flowery says that tight end's a monster. I think so too. I haven't had a chance to, watch any film on him yet, but hopefully I'll get to do that in the near future, because size alone, I'm super excited. I think, like I said, him, Jackson Samarco, Cole Taylor, still one more year this year, in good hands at that position. It seems like it's something that's going to continue to be featured. Drummond says he hopes they wear the Coal Rush uniforms against Penn State. As far as I know, that's kind of the plan. That's pretty much, their thought process, I guess, here, because, this was leaked. I shared it in a live stream. I guess it was about a month or so ago. Mike Kazaza leaked it on their podcast that he had, heard that there was black uniforms coming, and it's going to be for Penn State specifically. So I'm guessing that that's kind of what this is aimed toward, and hopefully in the reveal video here, they'll mention that. That's when they're, revealing them is August 31st. But I definitely think we could be seeing a cold rush against Penn State, and they will probably maybe encourage the fans to wear black even as well. That would be really cool. And then I would hope that, they would do something cool with the entrance then as well. Maybe, something with minor helmets. We've always talked about something like that and how cool that would be. Definitely, I think they'll go all out. Judging by just the spring game atmosphere, the entertainment value, and the things they did for that, I can only imagine how awesome this opener against Penn State's going to be with the Coal Rush, with these uniforms. It's going to be a lot of fun. I definitely think so, Drumwolf. But Yeah, appreciate that. And anyone else that's in here, drop your thoughts, questions, comments, concerns in the chat. We'll just kind of hang out here for a few minutes until we get to this reveal from the university. Let's see if I'm going to go up here and refresh their X page here. Make sure we don't got anything. They did post this, actually. Another little tease. Jaquay Hubbard's reaction to his first look. I guess the team's already seen him, and I'm sure we'll probably see their reaction in our reveal video here coming up in a few minutes. But looks like a good reaction. Looks like he likes them. So I'm excited. I'm excited to check these out, man. But hopefully we'll hear something soon coming out. We got about 3 minutes now, guys. About 3 minutes away from getting our first look at these uniforms. So yeah, I'm excited to check them out. Eric Flower says he saw a little highlight reel of the tight end break some huge catches. Awesome, man. I might tune into that, Eric, for sure. Might try to do a separate recruiting roundup video, just a pre-recorded, and if so, I might try and throw some highlights in there. I was going to throw some in here, but I was just trying to manage time. I didn't want to get too carried away and miss the reveal. So that's the only reason. But hey, if we stick around long enough, I might try and pull some up here in a bit. We'll see what they look like for sure. Appreciate that, Eric. I appreciate you tuning in and chiming in as always, man. But here we are, guys, getting closer. 2 minutes and change. Pull up the page, refresh it one more time. Make sure they don't try and sneak it in early on us. You never know. All's clear right now. All's clear. But what about spring game, guys? What were your thoughts? I know it's hard to take away anything, but overall I was pleased just because I wanted it to be the defense to kind of hold their own a little bit, because I feel like we know what we have offensively. Also knew we were missing some things, and the fact that it was mixed units makes it hard to take anything away. But I like the way our defense looked. I think that because them taking the step is what's going to make us take the next step as a team, I believe. And after we get to the uniform reveal, talk a little bit about it. I'll share the spring game recap video the university did as well, and we'll talk a little bit about that too before we close up shop here. But definitely, I'm excited to talk about these uniforms, guys. Couple minutes away here now, guys. Check this one more time. Take a swig of my water as I do so. I encourage you guys, though, anything you want to talk about, throw it in the chat. Much better, much better. Eric Flower says he was sort of appalled that Pat White kept cheating. Hey, man, I know. The funny thing about that cracked me up was the interviews, McAfee and him did. McAfee saying, Pat White's a legend, so I had to, get the refs to stop calling the game in his favor. And then Pat White saying, McAfee's a loudmouth. He got the refs on his side because he kept talking to them. Just their banter back and forth was great as well. And speaking of that, they were both mic'd up. I'll try and share that too before we close up shop here. Get some nice behind-the-scenes stuff from them mic'd up and some good camera shots and stuff of them during the game. That was fun. They showed their highlight reel before the game. That was cool, and you get to see some of their comments on that as well. So 60 seconds, guys. 60 seconds away here. All right. Keep my finger on the pulse, guys. Keep my finger on the pulse. Hopefully you guys are ready. I sure am ready. 6:59 still. We're counting it down. Got about 10 seconds. Oh, we just hit 7. See if they've got him up. See if they're on the money with it. Oh, they are, guys. All right, it's time. Let's check out the WVU football black uniforms together for the first time. Here we go, guys. Whew, I got chills. All right, let's roll. Wow. Wow. Wow, guys. All right. Let me see some thoughts in the chat. What are you guys thinking? Because, I mean, I literally, when Mike Kazazza talked about him, he said, predominantly black and white, not a lot of gold in there, which hearing about it, that's what I was upset about. But let me pull this up and we'll kind of go through this piece by piece right here real quick. All right, let me scroll through here slowly so we can let's get up to the reveal here. The black and white on the shoes had me nervous, but then the first thing that got me excited was seeing the 6 right there, because the 6 is almost like a bluish grayish tint to it, and that looks great. But then the reveal of the helmet, the white state outline logo on that helmet is absolutely fire, guys. Oh my goodness. But see that right there, the 6 reveal, great. Let me see if I first. So that looks good. You get the West Virginia text across these. So, they're sticking true to the form of, the same set. It's going to have a similar look. Personally, I would have loved to have a little gold on him, but man, without having gold, I think this is the best possible results we could have gotten out of these guys. Scroll through a little bit. Love the fact that they got Garrett Green to do this. You see the white text looks really pops against that black. I think that's great. Personally, you guys know me. I love my gold. I still think I would have loved the gold outline around the white of the text, much similar to the way I talked about having the gold outline around the blue numbers. But that white does pop. I understand why they didn't throw it on there. They didn't want to probably be too loud, something like that. Especially if they're doing for the Coal Rush theme. These probably fit more in line with that. But you guys know me. You guys know I love gold. So that's just me. But the stripe here, look at the stripe on these, on the pants there. The white double stripe with the, silverish blue tint kind of in the middle there that matches the number font, the color of it. That looks really good. I think that those are probably because something about the pant stripes on these and on the white pants, because on those you get the double stripe, but then you get the other color inside. On the white pants, you got the gold double stripe with the blue kind of filling it. And these you get the white double stripe with the blue silver kind of filling it. And, I like the other pants, the gold and the blue pants as well, but I like having all 3 of the colors there, Then you see the patch there on the pants is the state logo with the West Virginia inside as well. The state outline, rather. The helmet. How about that? I wasn't expecting that little touch on the helmet. They threw the, stripe, kind of, I guess, similar, the Country Roads alternates. We liked the stripes on those. So they throw that in there, but it almost looks like coal dust, guys. And I think that this, to me, everyone loved the Pro Combats, and I did too, because, kind of their nod to, the coal and stuff like that. But I think that these really hit the nail on the head for that. That looks awesome on that helmet right there. But this right here, when I saw this shot, guys, I had my mic muted because I wanted you guys to just kind of hear the audio of the video, not hear me, throwing in my 2 cents, because I figured I was going to react. But I literally, I hollered a little bit when that popped up right there, because I think that having that, just the black inside with the white, that looks great. I would not actually throw any gold on that. Looking at that, I wouldn't throw any gold on that. And I guess if you don't throw any gold on that, you couldn't throw it on the jersey either. So no complaints. From somebody that loves gold and thought I was going to have complaints, I have no complaints here. I think these look phenomenal. Then, of course, man, just a great job on the shot. But look at that up close. You get to see the stripe. And not only is it kind of the coal dust, but it's white and then transitions and kind of fades into it, which makes it look even more awesome. I'm in love with these. I need one immediately for sure. I can't wait to see these unveiled against Penn State. The shoulder stripes are different. Okay, so that stripe that I thought was the pant stripe, that's the shoulder sleeve on these actually, guys. So these kind of are more reminiscent to the Pro Combat style. They don't have the same, chip on the shoulder, the 07 to 2012 style that the ones that I just showed you guys did, our full set that we wear in this season. These are, a little bit different, but they do still have the stripes. I wish, nitpick now, I like that on the side. I see what they're going for there, but I still miss that flying WV. It looks so good on the sleeves of the other ones. So, nitpicking a little bit as we go through here. Got to do that. But they did a great job having this actually in the mine. Look at the mine car, having the same logo on it, and it's gold. Got the actual coal involved. GG gets to do it. I'm sure he was super excited about that. I wonder how hard that was for him to keep it under wraps. The neckline there with the state outline and the logo inside. And then you finally get the full shot here. I do like the pants, the way the pants look on those, kind of the double stripe that's similar to the one on the shoulder sleeve. And then you have like the coal dust going down the pants a little bit. I don't know. If it was up to me personally, I would probably just take off those white stripes, which I guess will kind of be reflective. So maybe at night this might look really cool, and I may eat my words in Milan Puskar Stadium on August 31st if those really are reflective like they could be. But I would personally have, the Flying WV on the shoulder sleeves, and then on the pants, if you want to do that stripe, maybe just do it as, it's all the way down the pants, because something about the pants looks a little bit off right there in that shot to me. I don't know. Maybe it's just where that stripe's overlaid over top of that one. That's my only nitpick right there is kind of the sides at this point, those little side stripes. But this thing is super clean. They couldn't have got the number, any better. It almost looks blue and silver at the same time. I do love the helmet, the way the white fades into kind of that coal dust-esque stripe. And I think that, to me, these top the Pro Combat unis, guys. And those were kind of, my favorite alternates we'd ever had were the Pro Combats and then the Country Roads that we've had the past couple years. I think that these top the Pro Combats. Don't know if they top the Country Roads, but, man, it's going to be really cool to finally get to see black uniforms in football. We had it rumored for forever. Didn't know if it would ever happen. The fact that it finally is, man, it's awesome. See the full shot there from the front angle. And see, from the front, you can't even tell that white stripe kind of fades away. So almost also just where they have the little front part of the white stripe on the helmet almost kind of mimics the coal miner's light, on the helmet there. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool nod. I like really how that white fades into it. I thought it was just, a cool look. But then thinking about it from that aspect, I think that's a nice detail. And hopefully they come out with some stuff, detailing their design process in this as well. I'd like to see that. Get that coal dust on their hands, GG. That's what I'm talking about. But, man, I think these are really, really clean, guys. Really clean. And I like that that logo they threw on the end, West Virginia Mind, built on bravery. That's cool, man. That's cool. This is going to be awesome. October 31st. Let me check the Twitter page of WVU Football, see if they've shared anything else about him yet. But let me catch up on your all's thoughts while I get ready to pull that up. What do you guys think? Let's see. Drumwolf 62 loves him. He loves him. Yes, I believe it was GG Eric. I believe it was. W. Burrow likes it. Eric loves the helmet. Me too, man. That might be my favorite detail. Not only just the logo on the sides, how awesome it looks, but that detail of the white fading into it and almost looking like a miner's light on it's awesome. Alex says the silver's going to pop. Yeah, I was kind of thinking about that as I was, kind of making it one of my nitpicks. Is I think that'll almost be like reflective under the night lights there at Mountaineer Field, so it will pop for sure. What the rumor, Alex, is these are for Penn State. Penn State, like I said, hopefully they're going to come out and confirm this now that they've announced the uniform. But from what I've been told, Penn State is supposed to be a coal rush. These are supposed to be August 31st. We're going to debut in these top 25 matchup. We're going to be ranked probably. Penn State's going to be top 15 or top 10 coming into Mountaineer Field for the first time in 30 years. And we're going to be wearing black coal rush uniforms for the first time. Hopefully a coal rush themed crowd. And like I said earlier, I'm sure they'll probably throw in some fanfare as well. Probably a coal rush themed entrance maybe. Who knows? I'm sure they're going to do some cool stuff, man. Judging by just their production of the spring game alone, they're going to do some fun things for this one, man. They really are. Eric says that's what it needs is the reflective Class 2 stripes, the OSHA ones. Hey, I know. I think that maybe that's what they were trying to, put a play on or something. I don't know. Like I said, I would have liked to still have that WV on the sleeves. It just looks so good on the new set. It's one of my favorite touches. Alex says, are we 100% sure? Like I said, hopefully they're going to come out and say it for sure. So until we hear it from the 100% from the horse's mouth, can't say 100%, but I'm confident enough to say 90, 95 on my end. I would say. Do the shoes fade to black also like the helmet? I think so. I think the shoes are similar, starting off like white tip and then fading to black. I'm going to pull up the university's page here in a second, see if they've got any other details out. If not, we can pull the video back up and take a look at that in a second, Eric. But I believe so. Drumwolf says he thinks that is the idea behind the white up front of the helmet. I think so too. I didn't realize it until they gave, the full body shot. But when you see the full body shot and you only see the little white, that's exactly what it looks like. And that's really awesome, if so, for sure. College game day coming back to Motown. I wouldn't rule it out, man, especially with our relationship with Pat McAfee in good standing, definitely think that it's a possibility, especially with the team, having a good chance to be successful this year. Who knows? Who knows? But I will say, I think that I don't know if he officially announced this or if this is kind of something that's, in the cards. But, Pat McAfee had that bet with Kirk Herbstreit last year that he won. And I believe he's going to try and host one of the Pat McAfee shows in Morgantown, sometime this season as well. So that'll be a cool addition as well. But let me see if the university's popped anything else in here since that drop of the uniforms, guys. Doesn't look like they've got anything else out yet. Let me anything out on the WVU Sports website. If not, I'm going to pull this back up and we'll look at those shoes, Eric. Because I believe they do, but I'm not 100% sure. Okay, yeah, they got a story up. Let's pull the story up. Cool. I figured they would drop a kind of press release on the university site as well. They did do just that. So let's see what they got here. Okay. Let me pull that up, make it bigger for you guys. All right. WVU football honors state's mining heritage. Michael Fergale just posted this. WVU football will debut a black alternate uniform for the 2024 season that's designed to pay homage to the state's rich coal tradition and honor miners who work underground daily to supply energy around the world. After the unveiling of new blue, gold, and white uniforms at the annual Gold Blue Spring Game, the black alternate uniform serves as a uniform set for the Mountaineers to showcase on select occasions. The ideas and designs for the black uniform came from a day spent with actual miners. That's pretty cool. So let's see. Here's Ren's comments. Our staff did a great job with the design and rollout. I'm going to move my page in here, guys. So I've got these new dual monitors now. I got this added a second monitor here, and I've got figuring out how to get this page stretched out across to where it's not, in the middle of them both, but I can actually read it across both. But Rim Baker here says, our staff did a great job with the design and rollout of our traditional complement of our uniforms last week, but we wanted to have an alternate that our student athletes would enjoy and connect with West Virginians, WVU Vice President and Director of Athletics Ren Baker said. If our football team was going to have a black alternate uniform, we wanted it to tell a story and it means something to our fans. Every design element of the uniform has been researched, carefully thought out, and implemented based on what our designers observed on their visit to the coal mine. Coal mining has a deep history in West Virginia, and the work ethic of coal miners is woven into the fabric of our culture. Our football team looks forward to honoring the rich tradition and history of West Virginia's coal mining industry, and we are thankful to all our staff members who contributed to the design and implementation of these uniforms. So here we are. The jersey, this is what I was talking about, guys. They're going to probably talk a little bit about these elements, some of the stuff we were speculating on. Hopefully we'll get some answers here. The jersey focuses on elements that bring light to the darkness. A key emphasis of miner safety is reflectors throughout a mine that play a substantial role in underground work, safety, and navigation. Well, good thing we picked up on that, guys. We were right on it with the reflection. The reflection, for the navigation and stuff. So they are to, mimic the reflective sleeves. The numbers on the black jersey are a reflective twill, and the word mark West Virginia and an outline of the state are in white to further bring light and complement the reflective twill. So, like I said, I don't know if they're going to come out and say if they're wearing for Penn State or not, but this pretty much almost confirms it for me because they're going to wear them under the lights. They're going to wear them for a night game. Penn State's going to be a night game. You're not going to wear these during the daytime. I don't think you're not going to add all those details and then wear them during the daytime. I mean, you can as well, but you're going to debut them at night. So I think that this is definitely, a Penn State thing, guys. Let's see here. The pattern adorning the sleeves and the collar of the jersey was sourced underground in a West Virginia coal mine. Oh, that's awesome. A photograph of a sheared mine wall was vectorized before proper palette colors were applied to bring the coal pattern to life. The sleeve design shares space with a reflective stripe to mimic the safety stripes of a miner's uniform. Yet another key element of the jersey is the arm cuff pattern, designed to replicate the blade of a mine shearer. Okay. Known as the backbone tool of the mining operation, the tool aggressively cuts and is one key to a successful work shift. The reflective safety stripes of a miner's uniform are also incorporated on the side panel of the black pants, so that's what we thought, along with the pattern of the same sheared wall of coal as seen on the jersey sleeves. The state outline in white adorns the upper right leg panel. All right, so I'll take back what I said about the original stripe to know that it's now made from an actual wall of coal. So they're talking about the helmet, the stripe, not the reflective one, but the one that's underneath, which they have on the sides of the sleeves. They have it going down the middle of the helmet, and they have it going down the sides of the pants, actually made from, that sheared wall of coal. So that's really awesome. I was not expecting that much detail. This is incredible. The final touch to a miner's uniform and ultimate safety is the helmet. The black hat in the mines is the experienced miner, and the Mountaineers will don black matte helmets when wearing this uniform. The on-field helmet contains an outline of the state and specks of metallic gray in the paint to resemble the shimmer of fresh-cut coal. The center stripe features the coal pattern used on the uniform, but with a white to transparent gradient mimicking the light of a miner's headlamp, which provides vision and safety underground. We called that one too, guys. We pointed out some of these details, just going through there on our own. That's pretty cool. That also shows that they did a great job designing it, that we were able to recognize it before, reading these details. With the help of retired West Virginia Coal Association President Bill Rainey and Gaither Frazier from the Lear Mine in Grafton, West Virginia, athletic department graphic designers Kristen Coldsnow and Phil Lynch, who we just saw in the video talking about the uniforms we were in this season, to immerse themselves into a day's work in a coal mine. Through the generous time granted by the Lear Mine officials and in conjunction with Nike, WVU's black alternate uniforms became a reality and served to pay tribute to the work ethic and bravery of a West Virginia coal miner. To support the coal-themed black uniform, the WVU Brand and Trademark Licensing Office has developed the Built on Bravery collection. The collection was created in collaboration with WVU Athletics and CLC, who worked together with members of the West Virginia University coal community to create a product line that complements the new football jersey and celebrates the coal industry. Oh, wow, guys. Fans should look for the collection in stores later this summer and in the fall. So 100%, this is going to be a Coal Rush-themed game, guys, because they're dropping the logo we saw at the end. I'm going to pull the video back up just to show you guys, we'll look at those shoes again and we'll pull that logo up. So they're coming out with a clothing line. There's probably going to be hats, shirts, hoodies, you name it, that are going to go right along with these coal-themed uniforms. So, you don't necessarily have to buy one of these uniforms to wear to the game. Buy you, a T-shirt or whatever. But we're going to have a Coal Rush. Everybody's going to be wearing black, and this is going to be awesome, guys. So, love that they came out with that, detailing all that. I figured there was a bunch of nods there in the design process. They're usually really good about that. And so they definitely did that there for sure. I'm going to take a swig of my water real quick, guys. All that reading got my throat a little dry. Alex said it was either a late season game in colder weather or a night game. We don't want the players overheating because they're all black jersey. Yeah, great point. Great point. I find it hard to believe it won't be against Penn State. I think that all this, lead up and the fact that they are doing it, I think they're doing it for that. I hope they come out and officially say it sooner or later. They may make us wait on that. But also, here's my question, guys, because this is something that I was curious about. Wonder why that they didn't reveal these at the game. I'm sure, they had the great video and stuff, which was awesome, but they could have played that video on the, video board and then had them walk out. They could have done a separate video for that alone if they just wanted it to kind of be its own thing, reveal the gold, blue, and white as they did, and then, have somebody walk out in the black one. It would have been really cool to see in person, but I guess their thinking behind it maybe is, hey, we want the first time people see these in person to be under the lights, August 31st. Maybe that's what they're thinking. But it just seemed odd to me because I thought when they didn't reveal them, they were going to make us wait till, closer to the fall. But no, not even a week later. And hey, we got to look at them. But I'm not complaining because the anticipation was killing me for sure. All right, one more time, guys. We pull up the video one more time. And I know we're spending a ton of time on this, but I figured that would happen once we got to it for sure. I figured it would happen. I'm not going to share the audio this time because I'm just going to scroll through it and kind of look at the highlights here. But let's see here. Let's get to the uniform part here. The shoes, I can't tell if they got it looks like the heel of them may be a little bit white. I can't really quite tell, but from the looks of it, it's black fading in. And I think that maybe the back of those are a little bit reflective as well. And I'd say around the Nike swoosh would probably be also. But I want to get a look at that now that we know all the details. I want to look at these side pieces again. And the side stripes there, because you see, so the reflective piece, obviously we noticed, but this behind it here, the kind of grayish, bluish color that we were talking about with the numbers and stuff and how I thought it had kind of a unique color. And I was wondering, man, how did they get such a unique color? And it's because they kind of took that from, actual coal. A lot of this was made from, coal wall. And the stripe on the pants there, you can see it off to the left of the logo. That's what I'm talking about. That's what they got from that coal wall, is that one that's on the pants. It's there on the helmet right there. And that's the helmet stripe. And then on the shoulder sleeves as well. But I think, to me, man, that right there just looks awesome. That white logo, which I'm really starting to more and more like the state outline logo with the flying WV inside. I know I was talking to Steven, the co-host here at the CRW, and because we drove by the baseball stadium, haven't had a chance to watch a game there yet. I hope to in the near future. You guys know I'm not a big baseball guy. I don't think I've ever really watched a full baseball game from beginning to end, but I'd love to do that there. But that baseball field looks really good with that logo on there. And I asked, Steven, I said, what would you think about having that at midfield? He wasn't a fan of it, but personally, I think it would look cool to have that logo at midfield. I'm starting to be a big fan of that logo. Glad we got it on 2 different helmets. We have it on the white helmet and the black helmet this year. But hopefully, my only hope is that they don't only wear this for Penn State. They, break it out a couple more times as well. Because, guys, I'll go ahead and say it. If not, I'll eat crow. They're wearing these against Penn State. Come back, tag me, at me if I'm wrong. But, I say bookmark it. August 31st, we'll be in these. But this is one of the looks I like right there because it does. When you look at that helmet, it does look like, the coal miner light, kind of just that little bit of white. But those numbers, man, because, here they look really gray. They look almost silver. But if you go back to the first part here, when they first show it, under the lights, which is kind of how we'll see it, during the game, it has a bluish, hue to it. So I think that looks really cool that they're almost going to be, different depending on what angle, what lighting they're under. That's awesome. But let's get a full look here one more time. You guys know I'm uniform obsessed here, so you guys knew I was going to spend a long time on this. I'm sorry. But, yeah, man. Love the coal being implemented in there with it. Yep. Great stuff, guys. And that's what I wanted to show as well. That's the logo they're talking about, guys, that they created. So there's going to be shirts that are going to have this logo on them somewhere. Probably hoodies, hats, all that, which I think is awesome that we're going to have, official merchandise from the university side. That's black. You guys know I'm a big fan of it. Obviously, you see, I'm wearing, and I usually do wear this a lot. You guys know it's one of my favorite hats to wear is my black West Virginia hat with the white state outline on it. So it's pretty, fitting that I was wearing it for this stream when they unveiled the black helmet with the white, state outline logo on it. But you guys know I wear this hat all the time. And of course, my favorite CRW hoodie also is, black and gray and white. So I think it's going to look great. And I love having, WVU merch in those colors. So I'll probably buy a few things in that. And you guys will probably see me wearing it here on the channel. Hey, speaking of buying merch for West Virginia, I'm sure you guys saw the Neil Brown, the Trey Lathan, Neil Breezy, Neil Brown shirts. He's selling those now. I'll try and post a link here in a bit. I bought one myself, shamelessly had to. You guys probably see me wearing that on the channel here in the near future as well. But let me catch up on some of your all's comments. And then let's talk a little gold blue game and, touch upon some other stories. We're going to go over an hour this evening. Like I said, I, had stuff backed up I needed to talk about. New with this uniform reveal. We'd be, talking about that for a while. So I was expecting to go for, a decent little bit here tonight. So got a few other things I want to talk about. So anything else you want to talk about, throw it in the chat as well. I'll try and talk about it with you guys. Eric says his left heel, the shoe looked white to me. Me too. I think they might be reflective on the heel as well. Alex said he wouldn't be surprised if they dropped the merch on the date of fan day. Hey, that's good target date. I'm hoping sooner. I'd love to get it as soon as possible, but hey, beggars can't be choosers. I'll get it whenever they drop it. Timmy says, hello, everyone in the chat. Let's go Mountaineers. Hope you're doing well, Jordan. Hey, thanks, Tim. Hope you're doing well as well, man. I always appreciate you, loyal to tune in and chime in. Appreciate that. Really do. What do you think? What do you think about the uniforms, Tim? I haven't seen you in here. Hopefully you were in here for the reveal. I went through the video a couple times. If not, you can catch it on the playback. I also went through the university's, press release, kind of detailing the design process and everything involved with it. Really cool stuff. Alex says he's going to have to buy some merch for the Penn State game. Don't look like the oddball out. Yeah, man. Because, you stand out sometimes if it's a gold rush and you're in blue. But if everyone's in black and you're in gold, you're definitely going to stick out like a sore thumb. The blue, you might be able to blend that navy blue in a little bit more. But if everyone else is wearing black, that gold's going to stick out. So, yeah, everyone, for Penn State, I'm not the one announcing it. The university will announce it. But when and if they do, definitely, get with the theme of that coal rush because, man, that's going to look really cool. And it'll be a whole new look for Mountaineer Field, on the field and in the stands. Eric Flowers says break it out for the Big 12 championship game. If we win in it when we debut it, absolutely. I'm all for it. I'm superstitious like that, break it out. I'm also glad that with these new uniform sets, you guys know the last uniforms when we wore the all white, we had bad success. So now, hopefully, in this incarnation, if we wear all white, we'll have more success. And you guys know I'm hoping to see a lot of the all gold. Also, will they mix and match this black uniform at all? I highly doubt it. I don't think we'll see them throw, gold, black, gold or anything. But, that's just something that I can possibly do on the EA Sports College Football video game, though. Because I'm thinking that those are going to be on the game. I talked about this a little bit in our post-spring game live stream. That I think that the jerseys, this set and hopefully the black ones as well will be on the new EA Sports College Football game when it comes out in July. Because I think that's one reason West Virginia wouldn't share some of the stuff they released to EA Sports was because they didn't want to, people to see these uniforms before they had a chance to reveal them themselves. And on the game, if I can, you best believe I'm going to do a gold, black, gold combination. I'm going to throw those black uniforms in. I'm going to mix and match everything. I'm going to do some crazy combinations that we'll never get to see in real life. But that's what's fun about the video game, right? Penn State all white versus WVU all black. Exactly. They hit us with the white out last year. We're going to hit them with the coal rush this year. And hopefully we pull the big win. Timmy says he really likes the new uniforms. He thinks it's great. They had a tribute to coal miners. He's a retired underground coal miner. Means a lot to me. Let's go Mountaineers. That's awesome, Tim. So hopefully, I don't know if you had a chance to hear me, reading through the university's, announcement. If not, when the playback's up or whenever this is done, go back and check that out, Tim. You'll definitely appreciate it because, the sleeves on the shoulders, the helmet and the pants actually made from actual coal. Everything they designed it, in with the Lear mine, I think is who it was that helped them, the design team design these uniforms. So definitely a lot of huge nods there. So I think you'll definitely be a big fan of it. And I'm glad that they did that. It's really big stuff. Alex says, remembers when we did a whiteout on senior night for Pat White and it was snowing. He'd have to say that this jersey reveal and hopefully this team is even better than that. Hope so, Alex. I hope so. That was a special night for sure. I didn't get a chance to be there. My co-host Steven was there. We were talking about that a little bit, when Pat White was there at the game. So definitely. But speaking of, that's a great transition because we talked a little bit about, Pat White and Pat McAfee being at the game. They had those guys mic'd up. Let's share the, mic'd up video, Pat and Pat, that the university dropped here. Well, if I can not close off the tab when I'm trying to share it, then that would probably help, guys. That would probably help a lot. Let's try this one more time.
I'm mic'd up, so let's not say anything.
You're the head coach. I didn't get that nod.
I almost puked right there.
High Street's still High Street.
Yeah. Coach, thanks for having us.
Do I have any eligibility left? No, I don't. Nasty natty. This is a game winner I took away from you? Yep. Sorry.
Yeah, that's right.
Love you, bro.
Let's go on these. Hey, boys, I have no idea how, but we're in the lead right now.
Y'all ready to go? Let's get it. Let's get it, man. Ball out.
We are currently in the lead. Did you know that? I did not know that.
Blue squad on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Blue squad. Let's throw it to the gold team, Nico.
I need a defensive player to come talk to me and tell me what the hell is being called right now.
I don't think he tackled him there in real life, but
Did we just bring a corner blitz on the field?
Yeah. I just learned that we're winning. Let's go.
Keep contained. Oh, come on.
Did you put your 4 up over there, Pat?
Sorry, I got no idea. Still playing, but somehow it stopped in the stream. Hold on. Let me run it back. Sorry about that, guys. Technical difficulties. Hey, it's live. What can you do, right? What can you do?
What the hell is being called right now?
I don't think he tackled him there in real life, but
Did we just bring a corner blitz on the field?
Yeah. I just learned that we're winning. Let's go.
Keep contained. Oh, come on.
Did you put your 4 up over there, Pat? Put your 4 up, G. Put your 4 up, G. Oh my God, this guy. This NIL thing, nobody even puts their 4s up anymore.
Going for two. Where's my kicker? Tell him I apologize.
Spin it, bud. Spin it.
100% of the passes thrown out of bounds are incomplete.
You only got one ball? You guys only got one good ball?
Yeah. What's the stake?
Yes, sir. You have officially become my kicker. That's what I'm talking about, big dog. Good kick. Forget Pat Matt.
Yup! 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 Yeah, good for you. The wind picked up at your back, too, as you were catching a snap.
Kind of helps.
What a dream.
There we go. Yeah, thank you, boys. Thank you, boys. Thank you, boys. Thank you. That was up. Thank you, boys. Thank you, guys.
Good stuff there, man. A lot of funny comments. The one that was my favorite, though, was Pat White watching the TD run to beat Louisville in 07 and asking McAfee if that was a game winner he took away from him. Eric Flower says McAfee might have been hungry, but I don't think there's any might in it. He definitely was. He talked about, being on High Street. He named like every bar he went to. I'll try and share that video as well that he shared on the show. But definitely was. I think Trey Lathan on Three Guys today said he even showed up a little bit late because he was hungover. And in the post-game interview, he said, when they asked him about the Gatorade bath, that he actually said he could have used that this morning. He said he had too many Morgantown waters. That's what he referred to it as. But pretty funny stuff. Timmy says he was so proud to see Pat and Pat together for the spring game personally. I think it's very good for recruiting and getting the Flying WV out there. Absolutely. I was talking about that earlier, Tim. Super big for West Virginia. Hopefully continue to have McAfee around. You had several commits out of that spring game. One, committing pretty much directly to McAfee, right? I shared that video earlier as well. So definitely, I think that it's a big thing to get, both those guys back around the program for sure. Let's see here. Anything else up from the university? Anybody on Twitter say anything interesting? I'm sure they are. But I really love those details, man, that went into these. I think it's really, really cool. All right. Let's talk a little spring game since we're talking about that a little bit. Pull up this from the university. Spring game recap from John Antonic. Final scrimmage stats. I haven't taken a look at these yet, really, actually. What were the numbers? Let's go through these. Any individual standouts? Nico, 82 yards. Garrett Green, 79 yards. Jalen Anderson, 28 yards rushing. He did have that one nice run. Looked pretty good. Or 28 yards receiving, excuse me. And 17 yards rushing. Clay Ash, 26 yards rushing, kind of led the thing. A lot of the 11-11 on this year was just two-hand touch. So it was really hard to judge a lot of it. But a lot of the drills were fun, a lot of that good stuff. I'll share the university's cinematic recap video here momentarily. But Neil Brown said, really good day. Appreciate the fans for making a great atmosphere. Ton of recruits. Almost all the 24 players that haven't enrolled yet that will be enrolling soon were there. We talked about the other guys that committed. Award winners. Tom Nicholas Award was Avery Wilcox, top walk-on. Your Iron Mountaineers were Wyatt Milam, Sean Martin, Preston Fox, Gigi, and Austin Brinkman. 2 touchdowns today were scored by Hudson Clement. And then a 7-yard pass from Nico, and then Preston on the 11-yarder from Jackson Christ, who Christ actually looked, pretty good. Christ and Scott Keene maybe battling it out for that third quarterback spot. Of course, Khalil Wilkins will have a say in that when he gets here, but I thought Christ looked pretty sharp out there in some of his time that he was in. But those were your touchdown scorers, Hudson and Preston. I mentioned Preston Fox having that nice grab over Montre Miller. Defensively, linebacker Josiah Trotter picked off a Garrett Green pass. Aiden Garnes intercepted a pass. And Aiden Nelson concluding the scrimmage by picking off a Hail Mary. Scott Keene threw. But, man, the first couple names there, Josiah Trotter and Aiden Garnes, were maybe my top 2 defensive standouts. Trotter is going to be an absolute stud, guys. Not only did he have that pick that would have been a pick 6, but also they were doing an individual special teams drill. And if you guys didn't see it, he laid out Trey Lathan. And we know Trey Lathan's no slouch. Trey Lathan's, an awesome linebacker for us. But Trotter and him together is going to be scary for opposing offenses. Like I said, Green, 8 of 13, 79 yards. Nico, 10 of 19, 82. Ray led all receivers, 55 yards on 4 catches. Ash led the running backs, 26 yards and 6 attempts. And like I said, Ash, the preferred walk-on, could, be one of those guys that works his way into the rotation down the line. Neil Brown said on offense and defense, he wanted to see guys who were stepping into bigger roles that he wanted our fans to see. This spring game was the first time they were put out there, and you kind of saw that, Clay Ash getting the starting nod, not really playing a lot of the guys that are, proven that maybe battling injury or maybe you're just trying to save for the fall. But nonetheless, they still created a great atmosphere for sure. Pat White and Pat McAfee there. And Neil Brown said very thankful for getting Pat back, and he had to give credit for Blaine Stewart for that. So definitely was 18,540 guys. One of the highest attended spring games ever at WVU, and it felt that way because they actually opened up both sides. It's the first time I can remember them doing that. Even had the "Let's Go Mountaineers" chant going back and forth. So it was really fun atmosphere. And one of the best details, of course, was getting to get on the field afterwards. Something I've always wanted to do, didn't think I'd ever get the chance to do. And, finally being able to was definitely a dream come true. But, let's let the university, show it in their own here. They do a great job with these cinematic recaps. I share them after wins on the live streams. So let's share one here, a Gold Blue game, a recap from the university.
It is an absolutely glorious Saturday in the University City as the Mountaineer Sports Network welcomes you to the 2024 Gold Blue Scrimmage game.
A successful 2023 season, head coach Neil Brown has Mountaineer Nation dreaming big and trusting to climb again.
We have played these spring games in years gone by in cold, wind, and at times snow. And this is absolutely perfect.
Spring ball, spring game. You know what I'm saying? We coming to pop out, show out.
A lot of momentum, and there's a lot of excitement, as it should be. A lot of key returning players at key positions.
Got way in right now.
Pat McAfee, the legendary kicker, coaching the gold team. Pat White, the legendary Mountaineer quarterback, coached the blue team.
Calling them guests, but they're not guests. They're just kind of coming back to their own home.
A lot of familiar names up front for West Virginia, and it sets the scene here, guys. Will be scrimmage. There will also be other times where they'll pop into a drill or two. So the only rule is, really, there aren't any rules when it comes to the actual administration of the game.
Team will get the ball first. Goes to Ash again. Has some daylight on the far side for the blue team. Oh, what a snag by Huddy Tuddy. Expect a few surprises during the gold-blue game. A jersey reveal. First look at the all-gold, all-blue, and all-white uniform. Second and goal. Martial to the end zone. And Hudson Clement held on to it. First touchdown of the spring game for the Martinsburg, West Virginia native. What a play by Josiah Trotter. QB net competition. Challenges to complete fades to the corner of the end zone. Now it's Kyron Bradley for the gold team. Bucket movement.
That's one of Pat's guys, Zach Fincher.
The winners of the Iron Mountaineer Award. All of these guys, first-time winners of the award. 3 of the 5 winners, homegrown Mountaineer. Time to recognize the team's top walk-on in the form of the Tommy Nikolic Award. Winner is Avery Wilcox.
Cool stuff, man. They always do a great job with those recap videos. And I think that this spring game was, if it's not my very favorite spring game, it's got to be right up there. It may be my very favorite. I don't know if I can think of anything that would top it, especially getting to get on the field and stuff. It was awesome atmosphere. For a year where the game wasn't that much to write home about, a lot of two-hand touch, not playing a ton of star players, trying to play it safe. They still did a great job making it a hell of an atmosphere that was, one of the best of all time. So definitely a great job recapping that. Timmy Green says he thinks we're better on defense this year than we were last year, especially on the back end. Couldn't agree more. And, continuing to get stronger there. The addition of Dantes Fagan from Charlotte, talked about that at the beginning of this stream. I think that's going to help, make up for the loss of Montre Miller, some other guys battling injury. But I think Aiden Garnes is going to be a solid starter. And we've heard good things about Garnett Hollis. Didn't get to see a ton of it in the spring game necessarily, but I think that overall he's going to be a good player, and I think him and Aiden Garnes could be 2 solid corners for West Virginia there if they end up as your starters. Eric says, did C.J. Donaldson play at all? No. CJ didn't play. Sean Martin didn't really play. Cole Taylor, Jaheim White, minimal action. A lot of the known commodities, they didn't really play a ton. Jaheim Joseph was also out, battling an injury, the transfer in from Northwestern. So didn't see a lot of those guys. Like I said, Neil Brown was kind of trying to get some of those other guys some shine that, the fans may not know yet. So I think that was a pretty cool move by him. But also, more importantly, trying to stay healthy. I think, we've had a couple springs, we've had some injury. Last year it was Trotter. And, this year we got him back, and, we didn't really want to repeat that, I think. So I think that's why after, the first quarter, you saw pretty much 2-hand touches throughout the rest of the game as well. Drumwolf says this is going to be a special season for sure. Timmy agrees, and you know what? So do I. I just got that feeling, man. Sometimes you can't really put your finger on it, but you can feel it. And that's just how I feel about this year, and it's something I haven't felt about for a while, about a WVU football season. It seems like everything, just is adding up. Everything's coming up WVU, I guess you could say, right? The team chemistry seems at an all-time high. The culture's great. The fan base is all together for the first time in a long time. We got a new set of uniforms that really kind of looks like us more so than, any time past, because they included nods to previous uniforms to mix with the modern. And then, of course, also the Cold Rush aspect, opening with Penn State. Just a lot of things going into the season. I think you're looking at a double-digit win season. Like I said, season prediction roundtable isn't coming until August here. So you won't know my official prediction until then. But for now, that's kind of how I'm feeling. Just, if you're kind of gauging how special I feel the season could be, I think West Virginia's got a shot to play for a Big 12 title. Things can change, always subject to change. Want to break down the schedule, want to go through it game by game, want to look at other Big 12 teams' rosters. Who knows if I feel the same when the season prediction roundtable comes up? Who knows if I'll predict us to do that? But we have the capability to compete with anyone in this conference this year, I think. Check the university's page one more time, make sure they haven't dropped anything else, and then I'll just touch on the final kind of details I got and get up out of you guys here before too much longer. Okay, yeah, cool. They did drop some steals now, guys. Share these. All right, so there's the helmet, and you can see how that looks exactly like a Miners light there on the helmet. Close up of the helmet there. You see the new logo they're including there in the corner. Let me make this big so you guys can see it better. Let's go over to the next one. It's a close-up of kind of the jersey. And you see the side, of course, that's the reflective stripe meant to, mimic the reflective stripes the Miners wear. But underneath there, the kind of grayish, splotchy looking stuff, that's what they're talking about. They actually took from a wall of coal and made that. You put that there, put that on the helmet, and it's on the pants as well. You see it up there on the helmet. And there's the look from the front. And there's the pants. Also have the reflective markings, but then underneath there you see that stuff they took from the coal wall. And then there's a front look of just the helmet. Man, that looks sharp. That helmet is probably my favorite. I don't know, something about that helmet looks great, guys. I love that black and white on that helmet. And this is from someone that didn't think I would like it, not including any gold, but this thing's sharp, guys. The Montaineer Imperial Liberty on the helmet's a nice touch also. Yeah. It's good stuff, guys. It's really good stuff. Super excited about this. Drumwolf 6. Got to get the mini. So do I, man. So do I. I'm going to have to carve out a spot here. Buy another peg, see if I can fit it in there with those, or maybe something else. I'll have to move somewhere else, because I'm telling you, that black one's going to be a featured piece. Right here, these are two of my favorites, and it's going to be up there featured with those. You guys know I love gold, so I have the gold on top. But nonetheless, those two are probably my favorite helmets, even though I love gold a lot. And the black one's going to have to find a spot in the background here somewhere for sure. Hey, thank you, Timmy. Thank you, man. You're the best, dude. All of you guys are the best. Drumwolf, Timmy, Eric, anybody else, Alex, anybody that I'm missing that commented in here. That's great stuff. Appreciate y'all tuning in and chiming in. Hit that thumbs up button for me if you like. It really helps a ton. I know it sounds crazy, but it helps that YouTube algorithm. If you do that, whether you're watching live or watching this after the facts and a playback, hopefully, let me know your thoughts on the black uniforms in the comments if you're watching a playback. But hitting the thumbs up button helps a ton. WVU fan, be sure to subscribe here. Eric says he has that feeling every year. We're undefeated. That's right. Undefeated till we aren't. And hopefully this year we stay undefeated for a while. But, I do get that feeling every year. But then also, I guess as I've gotten older, had a more realistic side. I don't know if it's for maybe doing this show more that I, start to, try and be more unbiased in my predictions, especially when it comes to season predictions, I guess, because, you know, to this day, that's one thing I can say I've never done in our season prediction roundtable. I've never picked 12-0. I don't even think I've ever picked 11-1. I think I picked 10-2 in 2018, and I believe that's the best record I've projected us to have, I think. Last year I picked 8-4, went 8-4. So, you know, this year, who knows? But you know, I'm thinking very, very positive right now, Eric. I'm right there with you right now for sure. Thank you, Drumwolf. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate you as always. Also, what else do we got here that I wanted to talk about? Oh yeah, of course I talked about Zach Frazier being drafted prior to the spring game, but we also had some Mountaineers sign some deals after that, and I wanted to take a chance to acknowledge those, especially since one of them plays for the Carolina Panthers, a team I'm a fan of. But Beanie Bishop will be joining Zach Frazier as a Pittsburgh Steeler. They've signed him. I think Beanie's got a great chance to make the roster there in Pittsburgh, especially with his ability to play on special teams. Could be a player. The Carolina Panthers signed Devin Carter, wide receiver transfer. We got him last year, played here 1 year. He's originally from Carolina, so, you know, right there, you know, maybe he'll get a chance to, you know, make a roster in his hometown. And Doug Nestor, we knew would probably get picked up as well, signed a deal with the Minnesota Vikings to participate in their training camp. So joining Zach Frazier in the NFL could be Beanie Bishop, Devin Carter, Doug Nestor, and hopefully some more Mountaineers will ink deals as well. Lee Koba, you know, Marcus Floyd, a couple others that were trying to do that. So hopefully they'll be able to do that in the near future also. Then some news from the university I thought was pretty cool and of note. You know, if you don't have season tickets, they introduced a new package, or they're introducing a new package kind of deal this year that's pretty cool. It's called the 304 Mobile Pass, and that's exactly what it's going to cost, $304. But it's really cool as well because new view every game, it says, because it's kind of, they're making this pass to where, you know, most season ticket holders, you have your assigned seat, that's your seat you're in. But you get this 304 pass, you're not going to be in the same seat every game either. So that's, you know, kind of interesting and different, and also, you know, a cheaper kind of route than, you know, traditional season tickets. So that's pretty cool. This could be my first year being a season ticket holder. I'm super excited about that. But hey, if you're not and you want to get on, this is the perfect season to do so. You're going to want to be there for that Coal Rush game. You're going to want to be there for this, you know, special season. But the 304 Mobile Pass football season ticket now available. Of course, you can get it at WVUgame.com. The Mountaineer fans' most affordable season ticket option, $304 for all 7 home games, almost 25% savings compared to a traditional season ticket. No donation is needed, as well as you'd have to do with the, you know, usual. If you get season tickets, you got to donate to the MAC as well if you're not already a member. But you don't have to do that with this 304 pass either. So literally, just $304. You get to go to every home game this year. The steps. Purchase your 304 mobile pass. You can purchase up to 4, provide a valid email, receive your seat locations approximately 48 hours before each game. You receive an email with your tickets, and you'll know where you're sitting. And then you show up and you go to the game, just like you got season tickets, but you're in a new seat every week. Pretty cool stuff there from the university, and, you know, pretty cool way to hopefully, you know, sell some more season tickets, or season ticket adjacent, I guess you could say. Other than that, this one was of note, because definitely of note, since we're talking about the Penn State game where we'll probably debut these Coal Rush uniforms. Very early line, West Virginia, double-digit underdogs. I think it's 12.5 is the early line here from the first major sports book to release it, puts it at 12.5. And that's fine with me. We can use some more motivation. You know, last year we thrived with a ton of, you know, motivation like that. And this would be something that would motivate us a ton. And I also saw, I think Jed Drenning posted a stat that, you know, West Virginia hadn't been home double-digit underdogs but a couple times, you know, in the past, I think he said 20 or so years, I want to say. Those 2 times, 2013, Oklahoma State came in, ranked in the top 10 in the country. West Virginia won that game. The other time, 2003, Virginia Tech. I'm sure everyone remembers that one. Virginia Tech comes in, ranked number 3 in the country, gets beat 28-7, and West Virginia wins that game as well. So, hey, you know, we're fine with being double-digit underdogs at home because we've got a good track record with it, and this crowd's going to be absolutely crazy with this Coal Rush involved for sure. Last thing I wanted to share, I think that it was Eric and me was talking about Pat McAfee a little bit. And you guys go ahead and drop your final questions, comments, concerns in the chat. I'll touch on those one more time after this. But I wanted to share Pat McAfee talking a little bit about the spring game on the Pat McAfee show, talking about the bars he went to, stuff like that. It's pretty funny. So share this with you guys. Last video I'll share with y'all, and then I'll touch up on your all's comments, and we'll get up out of here before too much longer.
I didn't really get a chance to see a lot of the social stuff because literally from Thursday night all the way through the big dub to the spring game on Saturday.
Yeah, good win.
Hey, way to go, Gold Team.
Good win. Congrats.
Everybody knew what was happening in the first half of that game with those refs and Pat White who built the place and everything that was taking place. I think it was like 6 to maybe 14 calls against my team, 0 calls for my team in the first half. How the hell does that happen? And I don't know the plays or most of the kids' names. And I was only there for about an hour before the whole thing started. So all I can really do as a coach for my team is bitch at these refs.
Sure.
And I certainly did from literally play one all the way through that entire thing. I was letting them have it. A couple American Conference refs. One Big 12 official was the white cap.
Okay.
They called a good game. They called a good game.
Right.
I just had to share that because we were talking about it a little bit earlier. He goes on to talk about every bar that he hit, in Morgantown, kind of goes through what they were used to be called when he was there, what they're called now. It's pretty funny, look it up on his social media if you want to watch the full clip there, or, watch the full episode of a show. I think it was from his Monday show, of course, right after the spring game. And believe he gave WVU football a plug on Monday Night Raw. You guys know he does the commentary there, or the analysts are there for Monday Night Raw, but also mentioned WVU there. So WVU getting plenty of play from Pat McAfee, and that's big. We talked about that, being recruiting boost and things like that. So that's great. That's great stuff. Eric said he missed last year, not putting a lot of money on us over the 4.5 wins. Hey, I cashed out on that one, Eric. I'm not going to lie on that, and on conference wins. They had us at 3.5 conference wins. So I took, both of those. I put a couple different bets down on the 4.5 wins and ended up getting that one. This year, I've already put down, our odds are so crazy to win a Big 12 title. I went ahead and put that down because I bet like 5 and could win, I think it was like 150 off of 5. So it's like $35 on that. Why not? But for sure, I'll definitely, probably be betting the line again whenever it comes out as well, because I'm sure they're going to underestimate. Timmy says he believes the ball bounced our way against Penn State and we pull out the win. Hey, we got a chance, man. We definitely got a chance. I think it's going to be an awesome atmosphere. And right now, I like our chances. I really do. Drummond says he likes being the underdog, as do I. Eric says he was still hungover on Monday. He talked about Pat McAfee. He may have been. I would believe it. Sounds like he had a crazy evening. But one more time, guys. Let me pull up, see if I can pull up one more shot, just some stills of this black uniform, since that was kind of the main topic ended up being this evening. I knew it probably would be once they came out there. So I wanted to, get a chance to reveal them live with you guys. And hopefully if you didn't get a chance to watch the live reveal, go back and do it, because not only is the reveal cool, but we also kind of go through, highlight the sections of the uniform, but then we pull up the university's official press release talking about the uniforms. And I think that that's really cool too, because it highlights all the design details that they went into with making these uniforms. But let me pull up these steals one more time just to close this out. One more good look at these things, right, don't we? Just because I think it's worth it, man. They turned out great. You see this coming from their university's Instagram here. Everyone, all the comments right there that are inside, I'm not going to scroll down and go through them because there may be some more that are more critical, but everyone seems to love them. Everyone wants that helmet. That helmet seems to be a lot of people's favorite part, mine included. But there, of course, the jersey, the front look, side. It's the pants there. I like that side look with the pickaxe. GG holding that. That's awesome. And that white on that black helmet, seeing that light almost even looks silver. That's pretty cool. That black helmet's it's fire. It's absolute fire. I got to get the mini helmet. Absolutely, as Drumwolf said, it's a must. That mini helmet's coming soon. I think it's Sports Fans WV and Hurricane that does a great job making the mini helmets. They'll probably have it in the near future, and I'm going to have to get my hands on one, hopefully. But yeah, look at that helmet. That thing's pretty. All right, guys. I had to show them one more time, but appreciate y'all tuning into this one. West Virginia breaking out the black uniforms for a coal rush in the near future. Could it be against Penn State? I think so. Hopefully they'll confirm that. But also hopefully we can see these on the EA Sports College Football video game. And one last thing to plug before I get out of here is my other channel where I do talk a ton about that EA Sports college football video game. I'm going to pull it up here. I'll link it in the chat for you guys that are in here live. If not, it's called JC's Pop Culture. My initials, JC, apostrophe S, and then just Pop Culture. Sharing a ton of updates on the game. Whether it be the news that comes out, we're going to get in the full reveal here in a couple weeks. There's going to be a ton of different news updates. I'll be breaking down all the different game modes, all that stuff for the college football video game. But I'm also talking a ton of movies and TV shows. So if that stuff's up your alley, hop over there and subscribe. I'm trying to grow that channel as well. I really appreciate you guys if you hop over there and give a subscription. I dropped the link there in the chat. I'll share the screen so you guys know what it looks like. If you're not in here live and you're watching in the playback, at least you'll know what it looks like if you look it up and you can get the spelling. It's just JC's Pop Culture. I'm also on Facebook and Twitter, just at JC's Pop Culture. But there you see, I'll look at the playlist here. I'm updating Superman. That's, my favorite, character ever. So they got the 2025 film coming out. I'm providing updates on that movie. Got a ton of those out. And like I said, you see your college football updates. I've already dropped 20 update videos on that game. And that's before we know a ton of information. That's going to start coming out here in a couple weeks. May 16th, the full reveal. So it'll be even more of that. But movie commentaries, movie reviews, all that good stuff. So check that out, JC's Pop Culture as well, if you help me out there trying to grow that channel up also. So got that going in addition to the CRW. But more importantly for you WVU fans here, going to have plenty of content coming out in the near future in regards to, roster building. West Virginia continues, bringing these transfers in. They got some others that they're targeting. Any more of those that commit, I'll, announce that here on the channel. Have videos out about those commitments, recruiting as it continues to develop with this 2025 class. Had a couple updates here at the beginning of this stream. We'll continue to update that here throughout the offseason as well as West Virginia builds that 2025 class. And, of course, WVU basketball as well in full swing on building a roster. They've got 2 big commits I haven't had a chance to talk about yet. Hoping to do that in the near future also. So look out for another stream talking about WVU basketball or a potential video in the very near future, most likely coming at you probably tomorrow morning. But appreciate you guys tuning into this one. Super excited about the black WVU football uniforms and a cold rush, as you guys know. My black hat with my white state outline logo. Perfect time to wear that because that black helmet with that state outline is absolute chef's kiss. And West Virginia, when they play Penn State, will probably be hey, gotta love those black uniforms, right, guys? But perfect way to wrap it up. Appreciate you guys tuned in live. Like I said, hit the like button before you head out if you tuned in live, or if you're watching the playback, that helps as well. Mountaineer fans, be sure to subscribe here to the CRW. And if you're a fan of movies, TV shows, college football, video game, check out JC's Pop Culture as well. Having said that, be back in the near future, most likely talking about some Mountaineer hoops. Looking forward to West Virginia debuting these black uniforms in the near future. Loving the entire new uniform set and loving this 2024 season, how it's shaping up. Think it's going to be a special one. Looking forward to enjoying it and talking about it with you guys here on the channel. And, of course, all the lead up that goes along with it here on the Country Roads webcast. Having said that, appreciate you guys tuning in this one. Until next time, as always, I'm Jordan Cruz, and let's go Mountaineers.